If you're not listening to the Smoke World podcast, you're wasting your time, you mortal.
What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Smoke World. I'm your host, Stone. So go grab that stick, go grab a glass, whatever you're drinking. Let's sit back and have a conversation. You can follow me on Instagram at Smoke World Podcast. Email stone at smokeworldpodcast.com. Again, folks, the website. What can I tell you about the website? I can't tell you enough about it. I'm excited about the website. Go check it out, smokeworldpodcast.com. We got some good things going on there. Check it out. But listen, folks, today's episode, I have some beautiful sisters who are joining me, Sisters of the Leaf, who will be discussing the Atlanta Smoke Week. That's right, Atlanta Smoke Week, which is coming up on Monday, which is going to be the 13th of September. So, ladies, I have Natalie,
Stone.
Robin.
It's not Atlanta Smoke Week, it's Atlanta Cigar Week.
Atlanta Cigar Week. Okay, who said that? Who
I
said
don't
that?
know what the Smoke Week is, but listen, Atlanta Cigar Week is known. It is amazing, so we're super psyched and excited because it starts on Monday.
So that's the 13th, is that correct? Monday, September 13th, 2021. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so boom. She just jumped in. I want to make sure I got all the ladies. We got Natalie here, we got Robin, and we got Cade. So thank you for joining me, ladies. Thank you. What's going on, ladies? How y'all feeling today?
Amazing.
Smoky. Oh, smoky. Who's that all smoky like that? Who's smoky?
That's Cade.
Come on, Cade. Okay, so this is what I normally do. Folks who listen to the show, I normally get a little bit about my guests, give them a little demographics, who you are, where you from. We're going to start with you, Cade. Cade, let's get the breakdowns. Yeah. Cade, where you from, and how long have you been loving on this leaf?
Okay, I moved here about 30 years ago from D.C., the Maryland, D.C. area, DMV.
Mm-hmm.
I came here for Freaknik, and I've been satisfied and happy ever since. That was in 92.
Whoa, Freaknik. Okay, did you get a little freaked out, and then somebody turned you out, and you got stuck?
It worked out.
Okay. Well, I ain't gonna tell all your secrets, but go ahead, proceed. I'm sorry.
And I'm a realtor. My career is a realtor. I've been a realtor for 21 years.
Nice.
And I've been sister of the leaf. I've been smoking, I think, for about 18 years now.
Nice. Okay, yeah. I'm still stuck on the Freak Week. You got down there on the Freak Week and never went back home. Okay.
I didn't.
Are they looking for you somewhere? Are you on like a missing cereal box container? Okay, they're not looking for you nowhere. You let folks know that, hey, I'm all right. I just had a little situation and I ain't coming back.
I'm the original Freaknik, in and out. See, there's no follow-up.
Bam. Drop the mic. Okay, Robin. I got my girl Robin. Now, Robin's been a guest in the past. Now, Robin has a few things going on. A lovely young lady. I'm going to let Robin break down. Robin, give us the breakdown, where you're from, and how long you've been loving this leaf.
So I am an Army brat, and I've been in Atlanta 10 years. And, you mentioned our event. We will be smoking it up. So that's maybe where you got the smoke from. We will be smoking all over Atlanta. So maybe that's where you got the smoke. I've been loving the leaf 15 years. And as you know, I've got a company called Blue Smoke ATL. Woo, 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 woo. And I make handmade cigar pokers. I started making for the other smokers some clip holders, cannabis holders, roach clips, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, for weed. The weed heads. It's all good. Just say weed heads, Robin. Stop playing.
All of the above. And, just loving life, loving that color blue, and, looking to have a funky good time on this conversation on Saturday.
All right. Okay, Natalie. Yeah. My girl, Natalie. Yeah. Okay, Natalie, let's give us the breakdown again. Where you from, and how long have you been loving on this leaf?
Well, I was born and raised in Stockholm, Sweden. My mom is from Finland, and my dad is East African. So I'm a little bit everywhere. And I actually came to Atlanta in '94 to play basketball and go to college. And yes, I did also experience Freaknik, which is amazing, and then Olympics, and Atlanta became my new home, and been here since then. And I am also in real estate. I have a real estate company here. And I have been a sister of the leaf since 2013 when I stumbled upon uh, an amazing cigar in Miami, Little Havana to be exact, and been in love with that culture and cigars ever since.
Nice. Okay, basketball player. Really? Nice. Okay. You guys say you got a little handle. Or you kind of like lost those skills. What's up? Talk to the
Oh yeah,
people.
just come on down any day. I can still take you to the hole. That's not a
Oh,
problem.
oh, sounding real gangster.
It's like riding a bike. You don't forget.
All right. Okay. I might take you up on that. If my knees and my back get right, I might just take you up on that.
That's right. My ankles might not, but look, mentally I'll still be able to take it.
You know, we all gonna probably need a little Advil after that, a little Advil, a little ibuprofen or something like that. But hey, we'll make it look good for the moment in time.
Good. Or just have a nice little scotch or whiskey and a cigar and
Hey.
we'll forget about it.
Hey, I'm down with that always, always. Okay, so let's get right into it. Since they said I messed up and called it the Atlanta Smoke Week. Okay, it's the Atlanta Cigar Week. What's the
Yes,
difference?
sir.
I guess smoke can be
Year
anything.
5.
All right, so
This
let's
is
get the
5th year
breakdown.
anniversary, Stone.
Which one? Say it again.
This is the 5th year anniversary
Really?
of Cigar Week. Yes.
All right. So let's talk about it. Let's take it back to the original. If anybody can answer this. So when this started, what was the whole concept and what was the idea behind? Hey, let's have a Atlanta Cigar Week. Was it because things were going very well with the cigar business in Atlanta, or what was the idea? If anybody knows, they can answer.
I can. This is Natalie. I can go ahead and jump on that because I've been involved since year one with the owner. So really, it all started with Octavia, three of our founders, Octavia, Henry, and Tony. And, that was around that time where you started having quite a bit of cigar lounges around here in Atlanta. And it was the concept of bringing together the whole cigar culture and celebrating it. And 5 years ago, it started with a small, we had about maybe 5 or 6 events. And it was such a huge success that the next year it continued. And it's always on the second week in September. And to be quite frank and to be honest, ever since Atlanta Cigar Week really started popping it off and bringing the cigar community together. Originally started with just Atlanta cigar community and all the different shop owners and things of that nature. Now we have people flying in from all different cities, including other countries, to come and experience Atlanta Cigar Week. And since then, all the other cities are starting to create their own little Cigar Week events, but it all started in Atlanta with the 3 owners coming up with this concept, and it's been amazing ever since.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that they all stealing your idea? Well, that's the wrong word.
I wouldn't say stealing,
Hey.
borrowing, because you can't steal.
Yeah,
It's
I understand. But y'all was you
always
saying the
the
OG. Y'all was the originators. Like, listen, we started this in Atlanta, and everybody saw this was popping. They wanted to copy us. They wanted to be us. So you know
That's
how
Atlanta.
that goes.
Atlanta always, even with some music and all that, Atlanta's just unique like that. A lot of great things happen and start in Atlanta.
All right, so let me ask this question then. So what can folks expect? They come down to the Atlanta Cigar Week. What are some of the things that you have going on down there?
Well, I'll take this one. So, Stone, I don't know if you know that Atlanta Cigar Week won Best Cigar Week at the Spades Fest. So when you win the best, you really want to bring the best. And so we have identified some amazing venues and some amazing experiences. We are going to have, something at the Four Seasons. We're going to have something at Red Phone Booth. They've opened up a new Red Phone Booth in Buckhead. We are going to do something at a rooftop. We have picked the best venues. Obviously, one of our signature events is Cigar City Club, where we have a 90s block party. Stanley's is an opening of a Miami Vice theme. So we've really picked some different venues that have just had grand openings, some places where they've never had events before. We have an awards gala at Havana Lounge. I mean, we have 28 different events, from CNC Social to the Bacardi House to events at Highlands. We're partying and smoking all over Atlanta. So there's no stone that is not unturned. We are doing the most, and we're showing everybody why we are the best cigar week in the nation.
Whoa! Now, being a Philly guy, now you keep using this word Atlanta being the best. I got to push back. I'm a Philly guy. I think Philly is the
Come
best.
on, Stone.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
just got to we're talking about. We're not knocking the place. We're just saying.
You know, y'all doing a lot of. I mean, it's like we gonna start a fight. We like gangsters now. Like, yo, y'all Atlanta, we got the best, we the best. I'm like, whoa, y'all getting carried away. Yeah, I gotta stop y'all. I gotta put my hands up. Like, oh, whoa. It's Philly here. Philly can't be coming like we knew in weaklings. Y'all just like Atlanta, we got the best. We started everything. I'm like, oh, now it's gonna be a fight, ladies.
I think Stone. This is Cade. I think the cigar culture in itself has room for everybody, everywhere.
I feel you on that.
If you're smoking the right leaf, you'll be in that state of mind.
Maybe it's my gangster. I'm sorry. It may be my gangster mentality. So y'all gotta forgive me. You know. So let me fall back. I'm sorry, ladies. Hey, go ahead, Cade. Go ahead, Cade. Tell them.
One of the other things too, I think is very unique. Is a lot of times when you have cigar weeks or events or anything like that, you don't see as many sisters of the leaf. I think that's what's so unique about ours here is, She Smokes Too is an event that her aficionado, Octavia, has put together for females. And it truly is a bunch of sisters that are true sisters of the leaf, true cigar smokers, to come up, get together, and there's no hating. There's none of that. People get nice dressed up, and it's like a family affair, and I think that's what really makes us so unique. On top of all the great events that we have, it's just the amount of sisters who really, really, really embrace and love the cigar culture.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned Sisters of the Leaf because I wanted to get into that. Now, anytime I have a Sister of the Leaf on as a guest, I like to propose this question, and it seems like you kind of answered that Atlanta has a lot of love for the Sisters of the Leaf. Not to say any other places don't, but what I've noticed in my travels is that on a regular basis, up here where I'm at, up here in the north, there are not a lot of sisters on a daily basis at the lounge. And I'm thinking, okay, I know they smoke cigars because I see them. They come out on these events. Right. But on a regular basis, again, this culture has been dominated for many years by men. No doubt about it. But now the game has changed. What can we do as cigar smokers, men and lounge owners? What do you think some of the things that need to be done to entice the Sisters of the Leaf to come out a little bit more often than what we see now? Anybody can answer that.
Yeah. This is Natalie. One of the things I will say, I don't necessarily experience that in Atlanta, and it could be because I know a lot of the owners and they know us and we kind of know each other here. But when I do travel and go to different lounges or even walk into a humidor or a cigar shop, it's interesting to me because they automatically want to gear me towards some of the flavored cigars, right?
Like Tatiana.
Like Tatiana. And I'm like,
Back bottom Betty's.
Right.
I think the biggest part is when women walk into your place, treat them like they were just anybody else. Don't treat them any different. Ask them, what kind of cigar they want. Don't just try to gear them towards something that you think a female would smoke, right? And so it always makes me upset. I'm kind of like, are you serious? Just because I'm a female and I'm light skinned, you think I'm going to want to smoke a flavored cigar? I don't even do that in the mornings. Like, that's not my thing. So I think that's the biggest part, is just treat us all the same.
Okay. Now, the light skin part, did you have to throw that part in that she was light skinned?
Well, I mean, you're from Philly, so I figured you know how it is. They always think you're light skinned. I'm just saying,
Oh, man. Okay, so great. All right. So, Robin, I'm going to get your perspective on this. What's your perspective as far as what Natalie kind of jumping on and segueing off of what she just said? What's your perspective of the Sisters of the Leaf and your travels? Because I know you've been all over the place. I see you all over the place on Instagram. So give us your perspective on this, Robin.
I think that, it is similar to Natalie's, but, somewhat different. I think that, a lot of men smoke Tatianas. I find that men smoke Tatiana, so I think it's interesting to me when they ask me things like, do you want a flavored cigar? So I think they do things like, can I cut your cigar? Can I light it? So they make assumptions about how long you smoked and your knowledge of cigars. And I think, to me, just put everybody, like Natalie's saying, on a level playing field, because you don't know people. Some people are new getting in the game, whether they're men or women. And all we're asking as Sisters of the Leaf is to don't do that. A lot of people, you mentioned a comment about people, up north, there's not a lot of women. They may just not feel comfortable coming out because of that. I think there's so many Sisters of the Leaf in Atlanta that we don't feel uncomfortable because we have so many here. So that's probably not the situations in other markets. And people feel comfortable coming to Atlanta because they know when they go out, the numbers are there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cade, how about you? What's your perspective? How do you feel about this?
I agree with my sisters, but I think I'm going to go to the left and say it is more men dominated. If you can kind of gear some of the activities, like more pairings, more, what's the words like? Pairings, samples of cigars, I think to get the women who don't smoke kind of comfortable, more inviting, instead of walking, it's kind of like walking into a football field with men, and they try to fit in. I don't really think we have to compete as to who smokes what on that and on what level. I think it needs to be more inviting to the women.
Nice.
Period.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So, because you ladies are so beautiful, you're beautiful ladies now. Do you feel at any time that you walked into a cigar lounge that all eyes were on you, and this is, I don't want to call it the meat market, but like you were in a club, and here they come.
Have that anyway.
Okay, so
Yeah, well,
come on now, don't get quiet now, because I know y'all hotties.
quiet. You know that ain't gonna be the case with me. Well, I will put it like this: I try not to go to places that have ladies' nights. I don't like it because what it then does is saying, "Hey, we're trying to attract females to come to this cigar lounge," and then what happens is you have all these women that really don't smoke trying to come out because they think men that smoke cigars are really well off. And so then they come in there with, half naked and trying to just pick up on some men. So, like, I've seen some of these cigar lounges kind of going into more of a club environment. And to me, that's not the cigar culture. Now, obviously, when we have, like, Atlanta Cigar Week, like She Smokes Too, that's different. It's an event. But on a day-to-day, on a cigar lounge, to me, what I love about it is you can walk in regardless if you're a female or male, and if they're friendly, go in there and have amazing conversations, business conversations. You can talk about anything that there is, and people, if they're treating you correctly as a female, you just want everybody. It doesn't matter if you're female or male. I just don't like when cigar lounges start doing this whole, hey, it's ladies' night, come on out, and it just turns into something totally different.
Natalie, don't you think? I think that's timing of when you go. Me personally, I like to go to cigar lounges during the daytime. That's really when I get to have a conversation, a meaningful conversation, talk business, really one-on-one, and actually can hear the other party.
I avoid Fridays and Saturdays, right? You're right, but also, like, you can go to some of the spots, well, even when I travel and go at night, and it's just more of a lounge feel. But when they try to have a DJ and ladies, whatever, ladies' night or stuff like that, it changes the environment.
I really do think that's the timing. You got some that close at 2. See, that's a club. You got some that, I travel, they close a lot, especially on the West Coast, 10 o'clock.
Right.
It makes a difference. It really does.
Yeah. I just think when cigar lounges really try to target more females to come out, it's sometimes it's the wrong type of female. I agree. If that makes sense.
It does. I agree.
Okay, interesting.
I just think it's people's preference. I mean, I think it's what you want as far as that experience in the night. I like a daytime smoke. I mean, I might be in there at 12 o'clock when they open, and there's me and the bartender and the humidor manager, and I'm okay with that.
Same here.
I don't have to. And I'm not. I don't have a problem if you're just a beginning smoker. I'm a Sister of the Leaf who smokes. So to me, I don't need a whole bunch of stuff going on. I really don't. I don't need, loud music. I can smoke under any circumstances. Any. I don't need, you can play music, you cannot, I have lighter, punch, I have all my equipment. I mean, I literally, we all come fully loaded. Like, we have everything we need to smoke. There's nothing that we are looking for when we go out. So, it's an equal opportunity smoke situation. We could smoke, we probably don't need a lot of explanation when we get to the humidor. We know exactly what we want. We're ready to go. So, ladies' night can be cool. It just depends on the environment and kind of what they're doing at ladies' night. You know what I mean? Is it ladies' night turned up ladies' night? Or is it ladies' night where you're kind of just, experiencing, palate development? Or, are they teaching that? It depends on, to me, what they're doing at ladies' night, I think, for me.
It goes beyond the title of the night. What is ladies' night? Is it a free drink? Is it a free cigar? Is it what is it?
Right.
Are you just calling women in, the hoes in? Come on in? No.
Right.
What is ladies' night? What do we get for ladies' night? What does it mean since we're on the title? What is it?
Exactly.
Now, interestingly, you say that because now up in my area, there are some cigar lounges that do have these ladies' nights. And it's been my experience. The first one was, success. It was a nice crowd. But then they have it every month. And it seemed to me, which is a reality, it started to die off. So, and I was curious to know if you ladies could put together a lounge that would be more catering, because not to say that females aren't not into sports, but, these lounges have a certain thing that's always seemed like that's always going on. They got the sports channel on. And again, not to say females don't watch sports, but not all females and not all males watch sports. So what would be your idea, the concept? You was going to put a lounge together and say, you know what? I'm going to not say target females, but again, this has been male dominated for many years, to say, okay, I can get them in. That's not a problem. They're going to come. What would you do, or what would you ladies do to say, you know what? I want to have a concept that's going to target females to come out a little bit more often than the norm. What would your concept look like?
If we put this concept out here, somebody picks it up.
I know, right? Yeah, I guess. Hey. Okay,
you have to give us some credit. You got to give us, give us something for it.
Right. We got. Hey, we got. It's recorded.
We need a locker.
Yeah, we need that Letter Cigar with Sisters of the Leaf locker. That's all you have to do for this. So I actually have an idea that I've been telling people, and if I wanted to go into this industry, this is what I would actually do. I realize that a lot of males that smoke, their wives or significant others don't mind smoking sometimes, but what they don't like is being in an environment where it's really, really smoky, messing their hair up or things like that. One of the things that Atlanta does not have anymore that used to have back in the day, like we had amazing jazz lounges and jazz bars here back in the day. We just really don't anymore. What I would do is I would have a jazz bar, right, with really great food. And then the bar really wraps around, and on the other side of it, you have to walk through glass doors, and that's where the cigar smoking is allowed. So it's a cigar lounge. One bar, glass divided, and so now men that want to come out and hang out, but you can still go and listen to jazz, it goes over to both sides. You have an area that's not as smoky. Now they can come over there and hang out with their husband if they want to, or just have some food after dinner, cigar, go on work. To me, like having two concepts into one would be what I would do.
Nice.
They actually have that in Tampa. So in Tampa, they're jazz when you first walk in, and you go back to through the glass doors, and that's where you can smoke. So they're separated. So they have that concept there.
Really?
I think that's what Cigar Rose is trying to do in Austell here. Kind of make it where you can bring your date, bring your spouse, and then go, to the back of the room or outside on the patio and have a smoke. I'm not sure if that still gives you the same cigar feel.
Right.
Explain a little bit, if you don't mind. When you say it doesn't give you the cigar feel, meaning, are you looking for a new platform to connect with other cigar smokers, consumers, lounges, and brands while escaping tobacco-related rules of other social media platforms? Then look no further. Stogie Lives, the new social media platform for cigar lovers created by a female. So come join Stogie Lives, STOGIE, SOTLIVES.com, where every cigar lover has a place to connect.
It's kind of like, babe, I want to smoke, but you can eat. We can eat first.
You can just come out and hang with me. I'm going to do what I need to do. Just give you something to pass. Okay, a pacifier. Like, okay, I'm going to pacify you. I'm going to bring you out, but I'm really doing me.
Yeah. So I don't know what is needed to get the integration of it, integration of it.
I think the biggest part, the reason I say that is it's a jazz bar, right? And so a lot of times when you have cigar lounges, when they bring a jazz person out there, it's not good sound, right? But if you have something that one side is specific for jazz, they have amazing sound there, amazing bands coming through. You're kind of getting that same like amazing live music, but you're in a cigar lounge.
Mm-hmm. I love the concept. That's like Monticello. I love it, but it do still kind of separates. Like even at Monticello, is it Monticello or Monticello?
Monticello. But this is the thing, though. Monticello is like three things. There's a sports bar, there's an outside, there's a cigar lounge, and then there's a concert venue. It's not cozy. Like I would want it to be small and
more cozy, right? Because your man still ends up
cigar lounge, not a club.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would take it a different direction. For me, what's important is the ventilation system, because I think when you take someone who's not a smoker out, their biggest complaint is that they smell like smoke, their hair smells like smoke, and they basically feel like they're licking an ashtray.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to places,
I'm a cigar smoker, and sometimes I get home from some of these spots, and I'm like, it takes me 5 days to like get that smell off of my hair, like, and it's just some places just you're right. Ventilation is just not the best.
So when I think about, Cigar Cellar, I think their ventilation system is good. So I think to me, if you spend the money on a ventilation system, there are places who've spent a lot of money to get the ventilation system right. I think that there are a lot of places that have not, and that to me in really impacts people's health who do smoke. Smokers know the difference between, they can tell 6 seconds after they walk in there if they have a good ventilation system or not. And that's why a lot of people smoke on the patio, because the ventilation system is not good. And to me, that's where you need to spend your money, is the ventilation system. You need to spend your money, obviously, in the humidor, having quality sticks. And you need to have the right decor, because to me, when you're talking about a cigar lounge, I'm not talking about a club. You need to have the right furniture. And the right furniture means a lounge-type furniture where you can sit and relax. You need to have quality ashtrays where, they are dumped periodically, not where they're filled up to the point you can barely have your cigar there. So I think it's really, quality service, not, trying to yell at the waitress or the bartender or the waiter to try to get, that person to come over and see about you. I mean, this is about, conversations and spending quality time talking to people. To me, that's what I consider a cigar lounge, not so much a cigar club, which is kind of what's popping up all over.
Yeah, and you know what, too, Robin, and the other thing, too, is having good craft cocktails and, like, actual glasses and good ice and,
and
like a good selection.
And lighters. What about looking for a damn lighter if you didn't bring yours?
Right.
On the table. You know what I mean?
Okay, the challenge with the lighters, that's a good thing that you said that. The challenge to me, because I know a lot of the lounges, they start off great lounges, not saying they're not great now, but they start off with the lighters on the table. And that may have lasted maybe 3 months. After that, folks just start stealing them. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part, I guess. So I'm glad somebody mentioned, I think it was Robin, about the club. Now, what is your perspective on lounges that have the DJ in there, that has DJ night and they do the DJ thing and kind of party? How do you feel about that? Do you think that's a lounge, or that's? I understand the move from a perspective of an owner, the fact that he's trying to bring money to the club or cigar lounge, quote. So, what is your feeling, ladies, on the lounges that have the DJs and they're partying like it is a club?
We have over 130 places to smoke in Atlanta. So I don't have a problem with anybody who wants to do whatever they want to do because they've spent their money to create their vision and their goals. So I don't have a problem with anything. If you want to create a club, then have it be a club. If you want to create a lounge, if you want to create 2 chairs outside, we have enough places to smoke in Atlanta that you could smoke at a different place for probably 120 days and then start all over again. So I don't have a problem with that. I think it becomes a challenge when you're talking about, things like COVID and, having space and stuff like that. But I don't have a problem with it. It just depends on what type of nights you want to have, So that's just my preference on that.
Yeah, I agree 100% what Robin just said. I think, let's say somebody's birthday and it's a day party environment and not everybody smokes cigars and there's a DJ out there, but outside on the patio you can smoke a cigar. Hey, that fits. But if I want to just go and chill and have it stick, no, that's not my preference. But like she said, there's a ton of different choices we can go to. So there's definitely different options.
Well, that's great in
Okay,
Atlanta.
now,
See, that's the thing. In Atlanta, you obviously y'all have a plethora of cigar lounges. Not every state or city has that lovely option to say, hey, screw them today. They partying too hard. I'm going over here. So up here, and again, we have a nice amount. You go to the city, Philly, we've got a few lounges, but in some of the places of surrounding states, not so much. So, it's one of those kind of conversations that has come up where, is this a club or is this a cigar lounge? And who you trying to attract?
Stone, this is Cade again. To go back to the females, I think that's it right there. Everything that the ladies just spoke on is a woman's prerogative mood to change.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, guys go to the sports bar to watch sports. We may want to go to the cigar bar and hear some music. We may want to go to cigar lounge and talk business. I think with women, it's like packing a suitcase. We need options. More available options.
Makes sense there. All right, so we're
That's
going
it right there.
All right, we're going to retract a little bit just to go back down the memory lane of starting with the Atlanta Cigar Week, the first year. This is the 5th year. So are these ticketed events, or if, a guy like me comes down to Atlanta Cigar Week, what can I expect? Where can I go? Is there something like, is there a website? Is there social media to kind of tell me what's going on, what day, what place?
I got 2 words for you: sold out.
Damn.
Okay, we'll just put it like this. Let's just be real. We have amazing venues right now. Because of COVID, we're definitely limiting the amount of tickets that were available, just to still keep it safe. We're still dealing with an epidemic out here. So that's one thing. But there are still, I think, a couple of parties that are still available. The Gold Room is a big, huge space that holds almost 1,000 people. And that's still open. I don't think we're sold out on that one. That's on Thursday night for She Smokes Too. Mm-hmm. If you're wanting to come to Atlanta Cigar Week, we have it every September, second week of September. 2022 is coming up, because if you did not get your tickets so far and you want to come down, you might be a little too late, like they said, because most events are sold out.
Are there any things, like I said, you got so many lounges, are the lounges obviously participating? Could one just go into the lounge and still feel that love, or like, okay, I'm part of Atlanta Cigar Week? Or is this pretty much you got to go to these particular events and get a ticket? So, again, somebody's listening to this and say, hey, man, I'm going to be in Atlanta this week. That's what's up.
So AtlantaCigarWeek.com is the website.
Okay.
CNC Social House is where we're going to host our happy hours. You don't need a ticket there. It's really geared for people who want to come in there, pop in, have a few cocktails, smoke a few sticks. A lot of the cigar lounges or cigar shops, we're highlighting them as well. So our VIPs are actually going to get a passport, and we're encouraging them to go out and smoke in different other locations. So there's going to be a lot of people flying in for this. So regardless of where our events are, there's definitely going to be a lot of people out networking and meeting each other. So there are still opportunities to come out and check them out, because I do believe there's a couple of events that are not sold out, as I mentioned. And honestly, CNC Social House is some happy hour, and if nothing else, come by there.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, I know each of you ladies have an individual thing going on. So I'm going to give you opportunity, if you like, to plug what you got going on, whether you said like real estate, if you're interested in putting that out there. Hey, if they're looking for an agent to do contact information. So I'm going to start with Natalie. If there's anything you want to share with the people on what you're doing, some other things you're doing, to let the people know how to get in contact with you. You got a social media, you got an Instagram, Facebook, something, website, combination thereof, to let the folks know?
Yeah, truly. And, this is how the Sisters of the Leaf are unique. As a matter of fact, me and Cade, are hosting. One of the things that we're doing this year for Atlanta Cigar Week is we adding a educational portion to it. So there's actually a cigar rolling class. There's a cigar pairing class. We have bourbon and whiskey brands that are sponsoring. Bacardi's one of our big sponsors. So we have all these different things happening this year that's been added. And we're actually hosting what's happening with the Atlanta real estate market, talking about real estate in Atlanta, investment opportunities and options for people. And that's going to be on Friday at Fruition Hat Company. And that is from 5 to 7, right, Cade?
It is, yes.
Yeah. And my social media on Instagram is Natalie the Realtor. And my last name is everything else is Natalie Vuariaho, VUORIAHO. So VuariahoGroup.com is my website. And my phone number is 404-844-9406. And, of course, just like Cade, you know, if anybody's looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate, both me and her will be available to help you.
Okay,
Yes.
Good stuff. Cade, you mean you piggyback off of her, or that's what she said is fine?
Let me add my social media. It's Ambassador Cade. That's CADE, Ambassador Cade. That's on IG. And my phone number is 678-886-4130.
Nice.
Again,
nice.
678-886-4130.
Robin. All right,
And
Robin.
I'll give you their information so you can add it to your post so we can make sure that everybody has their information.
Gotcha. Not a problem. All right, so Robin, break your demographics down. What you got going?
So my company is Blue Smoke ATL, and I handcraft cigar pokers, roach clips, beaded jewelry, and I will be vending at the event on Tuesday called Finer Things at the Four Seasons. There are tickets, individual tickets still available for $20. You can go to my website, my link, or the website to get tickets. So that event is still available, as well as I think there are still tickets to Cigar City's event, which Cade is the host ambassador for that. So there are a few individual tickets still available that are open. So you can go to my website at bluesmokeatl.com. My social media is bluesmokeatl. And take a look at my pokers. They will be with me at all the events. So all you got to do is say, hey, you need a poker, and I will mysteriously appear out of nowhere.
Oh, wow. The genie of the lamp. The genie of the bottle. All right, before
Hey,
we...
Robin. Robin, I need a poker. So I need you to seriously appear and make me a fly poker. You know my style. So I'm going to have to buy one. I realize I don't have one.
What?
I got you.
What?
I got you.
You don't have one. How's that possible?
Listen, I'm be honest with you. Even though I can smoke a cigar all the way down to the end, and I don't use pokers a lot. I'm not the girly girl. So
You've been smoking a lot of weed in your life. That's cool.
In college days, I got used to holding it real tight.
Yeah. You're a weed smoker. You're smoking a lot of weed in your day. So we ain't going to tell on you.
College days, not anymore.
Tell them about your, I call it the roach clip.
Yeah, so I do have the roach clip blunt holder for the weed smokers. You know, so I have all kinds. I have smoke. So I'm calling it smoke jewelry. So whatever you smoke, I have something for you. And men, I do have pokers for you. So I have unisex pokers. Just go to my website at bluesmokeatl.com or my IG bluesmokeatl.
Yo, I must say this about that poker. I have one. Yo, it's the bomb. I get down to the numbnicity. That's what I call the numbnicity. The quality. Yo, the quality is outstanding. This is not no cheap piece of metal. This ain't like a paper clip that we smoke and we're going to burn our fingers. This ain't that. This is some quality, and the design is awesome. My wife was looking at it trying to think she was going to snatch it because it was all, with the jewelry on it.
Custom, though. You know, it's custom.
Absolutely. And she was like, oh, that's nice. That's in a nice, pretty case. I said, whoa. Back up now. Don't get hurt up in this piece. This ain't got nothing to do with you. This for big boys. This cigar smoking stuff. That look like jewelry. That it ain't. I don't care what it look like. This is for me. So, folks, listen. Check her out. Those pokers are the bomb. I'm telling you right now, you all need them.
Thank you.
And if you're scared to walk around because you think yours is too nice, too pretty, don't worry about it. Tell people at the lounge to mind their business. Because at the end of the day, I smoke my cigars down to the numbnicity, down to the fingertips. But I don't want to burn my lips, burn my fingers. I don't want to walk around and look like a weed smoker. They're like, yo, Stone, you smoking weed? Nah, cigars. So I don't have to even go through answering all those questions. So definitely check Robin out. She's got a hell of a product, hell of a person. Thank you, Robin. Look, ladies, before we leave, I always give the opportunity. Yes, ma'am.
Make sure everybody knows that me and Natalie can help them internationally, locally, relocate, invest, or purchase.
See, that's what I was about to get into. I was going to say.
Buy yourself a place in another country so that you have a house if we need to.
Okay, yeah, when my money start coming in, I'm going to have to talk to y'all because I'm ready to move overseas and grab my little...
I'm not retiring in here. I'm retiring on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Island.
I'm going to need y'all to do some things for me once this money start getting right. Don't tell nobody. I'm working on that.
We do commercial as well if you need brick and mortar. Commercial.
I'm working on that. See, and that's what I was about to go into. I always normally ask if there's anything I didn't ask or something that you need to say before we wrap. I'll give you that opportunity to make that happen. We can start right down the line again. Natalie, is there anything that I missed that maybe you wanted to say? I didn't ask that question that you want the folks to know about maybe Atlanta.
I'm surprised. I've been on some podcasts. I'm surprised you didn't ask us what our favorite stick is. I just knew that was going to be a question.
You know, it's kind of hard. I don't even have a favorite. I've been smoking for like 25 years. No.
Yeah,
Whoa.
If there was a guy,
okay, so
been like, man,
I bet you'd be like, what do you normally smoke? What's your go-to?
Right. You didn't even ask us.
Wow.
No.
Really?
Gotcha.
Do we have to take this outside? Do we have favorite sticks anymore? I don't know if that's a thing anymore. With so many millions of sticks, I don't even have. I can't say.
I always have that go-to. Like, okay, if I know.
See, now, hold on. Go-to and favorite is a whole different scenario. A go-to is like, okay, this is my Old Faithful. This is my go-to. Favorite is something different.
Okay, well then ask us both.
All right, fine, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
They're beating me up on Smoke World. And I'm going, hey, all right, we're going to start with Cade. Hey, Cade. All right, you're a lover of the leaf. What is your favorite stick or your go-to, Cade? What stick do you like to enjoy on a daily basis?
I'm Perdomo.
Perdomo. Which one? Any particular one or just Perdomo?
I do the 10-year anniversary sun-grown when I'm feeling mild. I may do a lot 23. So I want to get, a little bit more riskier. If it's after 10 o'clock.
Oh, if you're feeling good. You feeling special.
Yep.
Okay.
She put some times on hers.
Yeah.
Miss Robin.
It depends on where I'm at, where the flow is.
Yeah, what you about to get into. So, Miss Robin, do you have a favorite stick or a go-to stick?
My favorite is the La Flor Dominicana Andalusian Bull. That's my favorite. My go-to would be probably my father's, I would say, the Judge.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Nice. Miss Natalie, do you have a favorite stick or
I do, and it's my favorite stick and my go-to stick. I tend to buy them every time I travel, and I travel a lot. So I love my Cuban Boulevards. So
I'm with you. Shout out on the
bougie.
Boulevards.
How you getting these Boulevards? Where you getting these babies from? You want to share that?
Well, I mean, I travel a lot. I take a trip out of the country at least once a month, if not more. So when I go, I normally buy myself a box and I keep that in my house. So,
okay.
And it's not bougie. Like, they're only $10 when you buy them in another country.
Hey, I'm going to give you my address then. Let me give you my address so you can hook it up like me. Stone, here you go. I went down there and got a couple boxes. Here go a couple cigars. Look out for your boy.
Yeah, and you know what? If I have if I'm out and I just want to make sure I get some sticks, because you want to keep some good ones just around. There's a My Father and a Davidoff blend. There's no wrapper on it, so
I love that one, Natalie. Know
what I'm talking about? It's a $10 stick, and it smokes like it's a $30 stick. Yeah,
I love it.
Okay, hold on. Which one? It's by not the Zeno. Zeno?
No, it's a My Father.
No, it's a My Father's.
Really?
We make it for Davidoff. Davidoff makes a couple of private label ones. Yep.
And you don't remember the name. See, now y'all gonna hype everybody up. Hold on. Now you gonna hype everybody up on this stick, and you don't remember the name. You see, folks, see how they doing this? Tell them, it's a good stick.
And those
are Smoke World prices.
Yeah, it's not a name for it. They actually make, like My Father's makes several private label things. Like they make one for Ashton. They don't even need the credit for it. They make one. If you go into Davidoff and ask them the My Father's one, they'll know which one it is.
Yep. and there's no label on it, no nothing. It's a
You wouldn't even know it's my father's, because I smoke a lot of my father's. I do. That's kind of my go. If I'm just going into a lounge, I mean, Boulevard's different because you can't just go into a lounge and get that one, and Trinidad is my other one I smoke. But if you're just going into a lounge, if you go into any of my father's, any Davidoff, they'll tell you which one it is.
Oh, see, that's a new one on me. Okay.
Sisters of the Leaf know that because we're going to get into this.
We're educated.
I knew nothing about that.
We can play and we can educate and play at the same time.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you're doing to the audience, because I'm not familiar with that particular stick that you speak of, and I would love to try
and
that.
I'm a big
But
fan
that's
of
what the women bring to the culture.
I'm a fan of like the things that might not be known.
Right.
Like Davidoff's, of course, but I'm not trying to spend $20-$25 for a stick because there's some amazing $7 to $10, $12 sticks out there. So there's a lot of brands that have done such a great job of promoting themselves, like Cohiba and all of those. But for the price, I love the Xenos too, but $50 for a stick?
Negative.
I'm good.
Negative.
Right.
See, Smoke World ain't buying none of those. Anybody who knows me would tell you, listen, are these Smoke World prices? So I have a price point limit where I ain't doing that. And I don't care how great that stick is. You're not getting $30 from me for no one stick. I'm a cheap bastard.
Exactly.
I ain't got no problem telling folks that. I'm cheap. No.
Well, the Andalusian Bull was actually a $15 stick until it won Cigar of the Year in Cigar Aficionado. That's what jumped the price of that
Politics.
up. So it was never an expensive stick. It's a small batch brand, and when it hit Cigar of the Year, that's what jacked the price up.
A lot of cigars fall into that category. When they hit, you get that Cigar Aficionado book, boom, 94 rating. Game changes.
Same thing with wine, right? Cooper and Thief, when people started drinking at the cigar lounges, next thing you know, you literally had cigar lounges selling Cooper and Thief for $20 a glass. And I'm like, it's not a $20 glass wine.
And it's a fancy port wine to me. It's a dessert one. Yeah, I don't like it. Anyway.
That's
another
gangster.
conversation.
She said that's another conversation. That's what I'm saying. We need to have a part 2. We need to have the after party to find out exactly how you guys made out as far as the Atlanta Cigar Week. I think we need to bring you guys on if you'd be willing to do that. If you'd be willing to do that. Like an after report as far as what took place, what some of the great things that happened, and some of the nice people that you met. I think we would have a part 2 to this just to have. So folks who couldn't make it, we got to live vicariously through you guys and say, hey, ladies, how was Atlanta Cigar Week? So we would know.
Look, they only have to live vicariously through us for 2021, but then 2022, they need to go ahead and start looking at them tickets and get the hotels and come down next year, because next year it's going to be even bigger and better. Every year it gets bigger and better.
I agree with you 1,000%, but this is the thing. They're going to hear what you have to say and say, man, I definitely got to get down there next year. This was
Gotta come.
So,
Stone, will you be here?
This week?
Next week.
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
No. Hey. See, I'll tell you how my bank account set up, right? So my checking account didn't go through like the savings account. And what happened was my mom said, listen, you need to pay the light bill. And I said, I paid it last week. Whip.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm going to be listening because you guys are going to tell me everything that took place. Because when we have the second call and we do the second podcast, I want to hear all the little nitty gritties, the funny stuff. This person was wearing something crazy, and this person did that. They drank too much. We're going to put them all on blast.
Yeah, but you know what? All you have to do is just watch the Atlanta Cigar Week hashtag on Instagram. Get on Atlanta Cigar Week. There's a Facebook group for that. You will see so many amazing pictures and things and funny things probably. So listen, follow us on social media. Well, there'll be a lot of posts and live videos and everything happening. So you can still see it as we're doing it and as it's happening.
All right, so again, speaking of social media, give that social media out one more time because people kind of slow listening to this. They driving, working out, doing whatever. So give them that social media again where they can follow the Atlanta Cigar Week.
AtlantaCigarWeek.com.
Okay. And Instagram is what?
Atlanta Cigar Week.
Facebook?
Everything Atlanta Cigar Week.
Everything is Atlanta Cigar Week.
All right. Again, folks are slow. I know that sounds easy. It's like, hello, Stone. It's Atlanta Cigar Week. But people are like, what she say? What she just say?
Right.
Well, we know.
Google it.
What she say? I ain't hear what she said. She already said it 6 times.
Okay, I got you. Atlanta, ATL, AMTA, Cigar Weeks. Cigar Week, right? Atlanta Cigar Week. And I just want to also put it out there that we actually got a proclamation from the city of Atlanta declaring Atlanta Cigar Week the official week of cigars here every second week of September. So,
Nice.
even the city is embracing that.
Nice. Well, congratulations on that. That's good stuff. I'm kind of hating a little bit, just a little bit. Philly.
Joan, I just want you to know I did go to Philly Cigar Week, so I love some Philly Cigar Week. I have been to the other week, so I'm not hating. I mean, I don't want you to feel that way. I just feel that, and I know you were just giving me shit on it, but I feel that, when you've done something for 5 years, you just have some key learnings and some best practices. So I'm not hating on the other weeks. I think we all have, we all can eat. There's not everybody that can come to Atlanta,
Right.
Different people that want to do stuff. And I know, people at Philly Cigar Week, people's in Houston. I travel, as people know. They saw me.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to get my tissue out because I can't make it because I'm upset. I'm like, man, I want to be there.
COVID showed us something. We can all Zoom and smoke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
We can break the financial barrier. Yes. We
Change
can all
the game.
Zoom. Okay?
Yes, that's very true. Change the game. Taught you a few things.
So, I supported a lot of different weeks and fest and one day, and I mean I went out. So even though I'm an ambassador for this, I supported all of the other different people who are doing their things and vended. And I mean, so I think that's important to say that even though we are part of this, we do support other venues, Orlando Fest and stuff like that. But I think that when you've done something for 5 years, you've just, you've kind of
learned some things. You learned some things,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah.
You definitely learned some things.
Stone,
Yes, ma'am.
Stone, this is Cade. Can I have your social media again?
Yes, my social media is Smoke World Podcast.
Okay.
Smoke World Podcast there. And like I said, I wanted to, Natalie had gave her last piece. Robin gave yours. Cade, did you give yours? You were good with everything that you had to let the folks know. Everybody felt pretty good. Is there anything else that we didn't maybe cover that we need to touch on to let the folks know before we shut it down?
Kate, I don't think you talked about your international, did you?
We did. Commercial, residential, international, locally.
Okay.
Yes.
Boom. So we all good, ladies? We all good. We're going to get together one day. We're going to all sit down. I got to smoke with y'all, ladies. I have to. I got to come down to Atlanta. Y'all going to treat me nice? You're going to show me the right places?
Of course.
You're not
We're
going to
gonna
leave me
take
at the
you
bus
all
station or at the
130.
train station or at the airport and say, yo, Stone, I knew you was coming. I told you I was coming. You're not going to do that, right?
No,
I'll take you to all 130 cigar lounges.
Well, look, there you go. Listen, ladies, thank you for being the guest on Smoke World. I appreciate y'all taking the time out to share this information about the Atlanta Cigar Week. It's going to be a hot place to be. Unfortunately, like she said, if you didn't buy the tickets, it's sold out. But guess what?
Call us, though. We're ambassadors. We still make.
You can make some things happen. They can make some stuff. So call them up, folks.
Reach out to us. DM, call. Yeah.
There you go. You got the social media. They already told you it's Atlanta Cigar Week. So listen, if you ain't got that together yet, I don't know what to tell you.
Reach out to one of the ambassadors and let us know you want us to say.
There you go. There you go, folks. All right, well, there you have it, folks. Another episode of Smoke World in the books. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at Smoke World Podcast. Email stone@smokeworldpodcast.com. I tell you about the website, smokeworldpodcast.com. Again, folks, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We appreciate you listening. We will check you out on the other side. Peace.